business loan, even with bad credit and without collateral. I'm going to get into that in this video. But before I do, my name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions. And if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with content like this on the channel. No more of an introduction. Let me get right into this. So there have been a lot of things shaping how you can get funding outside of going the conventional, traditional banking route. You have a lot of online solutions through what you probably know as the SBA. You have private lenders. So it's just about you knowing not only how to get a business loan in the sense of what is the type of product I need to be looking at, but also what are my financials is really what you need to be asking yourself, because this is what the assessment will take. A lot of people believe that, look, if I didn't get approved by a bank, I cannot go that route, then it should be easier for me to get a business loan online. I can do this without having good credit. It has to be well, great, excellent, and I don't have to provide any kind of collateral. Great. I can just go start an application, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. And I've released other videos on this channel on how to get a business loan with bad credit, without collateral, and all good credit, as well as a lot more, how to get over 250,000, 50, 100,000, that I will try to link to you down below in the description. But at the very fundamental that we need to know about how to get a business loan is not just looking at the product itself. What somebody is telling you to go get an EIDL loan, go get the targeted advance grant, go apply for this SBA 7A loan, 504/CDC, go through the 8A mentoring. You have all of these out there because they have lower interest. They have longer terms and monthly repayments. That's the best thing to do. In a way it is, but I'm not saying it is the only solution for you to look at. And so there are private lenders, these investors as well, that can give you the money, the capital that you need to inject into your business so you can continue to build it, grow it, expand it, and even getting out of a tight pinch. But with private lenders comes a high risk. Now, this isn't supposed to be inexpensive money, and no, by no means is it supposed to be very expensive. It can be, but it is just sitting there as an expensive way to get funding. And expensive, I know I said the word multiple times now, but I just want to make sure you understand this, is based on the perspective of each individual. And so what's expensive to you might not be to somebody else. So what has to be assessed are your financials. When I deal with people on a daily basis and I have to speak with them, whether it's a phone call, it's a text message, a lot of the time it's just email, I get some type of response that, hey, I don't have at least 5,000 plus a month. I don't have at least 4,000 or 4+ months in or 6+ months in business. It can be either or. So if you're doing 5,000 and above, you either have 4+ or 6+ months in business. And I say 6+ months to put it more at a high risk. So if you're very high risk, lenders will withdraw from that. And they might give you some funding depending again on your financials. And that ultimately is what we have to look at. So even if you have bad credit, for example, but you could have somewhere between a 450 and above. Some lenders have pulled back and they require you to have at least a 550 FICO credit score and above. So if you're in this predicament and you're just trying to go from place to place and applying, you've been getting denied time and time again, and it's probably solely because of your FICO. Your revenue is probably where it needs to be. You probably have some time in business. But what do we have to do? We have to fix the FICO credit score. We have to go fix the diagnosis, not the actual symptoms. So I have other content that I'll link to down below on how to go fix your FICO credit score, as well as understanding how to build business credit. It's very important. Not every type of loan will require you to have business credit. It will not have you to have it established to a certain amount of liquid credit, and a few other points in there. Some of them don't even report to the main credit bureaus, like Dun & Bradstreet being the one, and so forth. So you have to not only understand the product, but go just farther beyond just, hey, how do I get a business loan? Let me look at the terms. Let me look at the rates. That's usually what we turn to. And it has to be more than that. Because if you're going for terms and rates, you're just trying to go after something that'll get you more of a safety cushion. And a lot of people are looking for those longer terms because of the fact that you're looking for survival money. So when you're getting a business loan, you not only have to understand the type of product, the type of terms, rates, everything associated with it, the type of payment, etc., the guarantees, all this. But you have to understand your positioning right now. Like, what are your use of funds? Yes, I need it for payroll. Okay, that doesn't signify it's usually for growth and expansion. So you're probably looking for survival money. So if you have a FICO score that's bad and you're looking for survival money, but you couldn't get it through the EIDL, you couldn't get a PPP, a grant, etc., and then you have these alternative solutions through these private lenders, that would be difficult for you because perhaps, again, your business is in a place where cash flow is going to be the thing. Cash flow as in terms of it's not supporting you. Maybe you're fumbling and you're having a hard time trying to move forward because cash flow is a problem in your business, or it will be. And so you're trying to just get survival money. When you're dealing with private lenders, a lot of it should be used for growth and expansion. I'm not saying it shouldn't be used for survival money like debt consolidation, payroll, mortgage, stuff like that, paying the bills. But also keep in mind that if that's the sole purpose of it, is your business in a position to get a business loan of that magnitude? Because these are medium to higher interest rates, or medium to high total paybacks, factor rates. But there's nothing wrong with that. It all depends on the way you use it, the strength of your business, and there are other ways of getting it if cash flow is a problem. So if you would like to get help on getting business funding, getting to understand how you can get more of a personalized and customized approach, being shown your best funding option and options on what you can qualify for, being broken down for you on qualifications, how it works, the numbers, some extra bonus material, bonus tips, pro tips, and a conclusion showing you what you should do first, how I would approach this. Because listen, I've been in your shoes and I know how hard it is to get business funding. I know what it is starting from scratch and then having to pick yourself up revenue-wise in all other areas. If that's something that does interest you, I have a questionnaire you can fill out down below in the description. It's very simple and fast. You just fill out some simple funding details. It will land into my email inbox, where then I will analyze and evaluate it and give you a proper response back via email on your best funding option and options. It's very personalized and customized, confidential between you and I. And again, that will be down below for you to check. So just kind of to round up this shorter video, to get a business loan, and not even, it could be with bad or it could be with good, great, excellent, well credit, however you look at it, you have to understand that, since the recession past 2008, what the banks were doing and how everything just crashed, and the cause of all of this that sprung up people to, for lenders and investors to jump in on this and help businesses. And the conventional and traditional route for many business owners, it just wouldn't work to even start a business. Couldn't do that. Perhaps they couldn't accept the type of collateral, type of assets you have, they weren't taking. And I've seen that in a lot of cases, especially with family and friends. And so in a sense, to get a business loan, you have to not only understand, hey, there are these products, sure, there's the SBA that you keep hearing about, the EIDL loans and all that, which is good and all, but it's not the only solution, and it always is not the best solution. I've helped out people who want to get an SBA loan, they don't qualify, and then they get upset when they hear from me that I have to tell them that in a very nice way that there are these solutions, but why won't they go do it? The gap between that is, hey, I need survival money. That's why I was applying for the EIDL loan. But when they hear about alternative lenders, they don't do it because perhaps one thing is you don't qualify. Two, you don't have the requirements. And even if you did, you wouldn't go and apply because you're like, the cost is going to be just too high. And your business isn't in a place to do that. So what do I say to people who think like that? Well, first of all, I would look and get my financials together if that's something you need to work on. Two, understand the budgeting and accounting, how you're paying your bills, your customers, what's happening, all the transactions, the amount of deposits into the account, what is your starting and ending bank balance, and all of these things, you put them together. And if you need to bring in on another source of income, add on more customers, however your business works, to then raise your revenue. So you're not in a position where, hey, it's not all about the interest rate, to be honest with you. It's not even about the terms in all cases. It's not sometimes even the type of payment, daily, weekly, biweekly, or even monthly, how you're paying it. It's more about the repayment. So when you get the numbers on a business loan and you look at it and say, well, I don't know how this will turn out, that's where you're already in a predicament and it will not work for you. If your mind is already thinking it won't work, then you'll never take that funding, or at least for now, until you get in a better position. Perhaps it is your revenue you need to raise. Perhaps it's your credit score. Perhaps it's the time in business. There's some background things we need to look at, inquiries, etc. Number of non-sufficient funds, negative days, that stuff can hurt you. You can only have so many of that. And I've had a lot of people this week, last week, and I will continue to have this moving forward, where I will ask those questions and people just neglect it, or they see it, but they still want to go and apply for a business loan. But just make sure you understand the requirements. And that's the stuff that I can speak with you. That's why that questionnaire form is down below. And you'll get all other resources. So it's, again, not only about the products. It's not about the interest. It's not always about the terms. It's not about the total type of payback. It's about the repayment. If you are in a survival situation, and that's what solely your funds are being used for, and you already have a business that isn't structured to support it, sure, a $5,000 to $13,000 or so dollar payment, it depends from person to person, and this is stuff that I can help calculate for you. It will be harder because you have a bad credit score and you're only given 6 months. You have this type of revenue. If you had strong enough revenue and the cash flow was fine, you could take a lump sum. And if it wasn't only solely being used for survival purposes, then these alternative lenders would be able to help you. You're using it for growth and expansion is what you need to look at. I've had so many people look at it from both ways. I need a little bit of money for survival, for payroll, and then I'm going to use 75% of it to grow my business. I have a marketing strategy. I need it for inventory, et cetera, et cetera. I'm growing a new patio. But those of you who are looking for a business loan with bad credit, that does not mean you will never get it back up, or you won't get it to a spot where it needs to be. It doesn't mean your revenue won't be in a spot. It just means right now you can't qualify for SBA loans. Perhaps you don't even need the SBA loans. So you have to understand where your revenue is, how much time in business do you have. You don't always get what you want. That is probably the biggest thing you need to realize from this video, is you don't always get what you want. Those people who do get what they want have higher tiers of a profile. So again, it comes back to the financials. So if you're trying to get a business loan less than a 550 FICO, it can be difficult unless you have high enough revenue. You have enough details in your business, such as your time in business, you have sufficient cash flow, the amount of deposits going in the account, and you're not causing any type of fraudulent activity. So again, if you're underneath 400 or 550, then you're considered a very high risk profile. And even in the 500s, less than 600, and it depends on some other things. So that's why the rates are going to be higher if you're assessed being a higher risk. So that's why a lot of people who come try to get a business loan don't end up taking it, because they go, well, I didn't know that because somebody didn't educate you. And this isn't me being hard on you. This is me just putting the truth out there. If you take it the wrong way, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm not trying to come off like that. I'm not that kind of person. But you need to understand that there are levels to this on getting a business loan of any magnitude, good, bad credit, without collateral. You can go get an unsecured term loan from private lenders, merchant cash advances, other forms of funding that are out there that could be shorter term, but they work very well for you. And that's perhaps all you can qualify for. And you don't always need a longer term. 2+ years, 5+ years, up to 30 years. I've seen people who take that amount and they've been in debt for so long, they probably have a low payment, but they could have paid $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 plus per month just to get it done in about 7 months, and 12 months, 18, 24 months, instead of going for 2+ years, 7, because of the comfortability factor. So how to get a business loan. I know I said this, I would recap earlier, but I wanted to go on a little bit. So without collateral, yes, you have private lenders. You don't have to give up anything unless you're in a position where the types of funds you are seeking would require that. There have been multiple instances where people who would like to purchase an existing business are limited on their options. And so they have to seek one route, or the options that they go for ask for collateral, some type of a down payment. And to get you that amount, we would need some type of a commercial real estate property. We need some type of equipment. We need some type of hard assets, inventory, accounts receivables, stocks and bonds, etc. But do you have that in place? And if you do, does it even make sense for you? You have to ask yourself those things. So yeah, just to kind of almost end this video here is how to get a business loan, even with bad credit. Just understand that you're going to be assessed as being high risk. Even if your revenue is strong enough, maybe you have the time in business and you have details that are considered being an A-paper lending client, but you don't have the credit score. So the credit score can determine substantially how long of a term you get. So if you were to have a 600 plus in a certain situation, not all, perhaps you would have gone between 7 to 11 months. But because you were underneath 600, just up underneath it, even that, you're going to get at most of 6 months. And yeah, you may have strong enough cash flow, but you have to make that determination. And if the payment seems too high for you, well, what do we have to look at? You can even cut your payment in half if you did what? Yes, if you were to raise your credit score in that case. Like I said, if it were revenue and everything else just fine, you'd want to raise your credit score to at least be given a chance of getting 7 to 11 months, perhaps cutting a $450 plus daily payment into a $250 or so. And maybe that's still a lot for you. And a lot of people ask me, can I get it at least 100 or below? It is, in a lot of cases, it is very, very difficult. Even I've seen that with the best profiles out there, getting a $100 payment is just not realistic. And it is virtually impossible. And the expectations you have as a business owner, I get it because I've been there, but we need to shift them. And you really need to plug yourself in to understand how you can qualify. And if you're not doing your due diligence, if you think you're that person who, well, I have had people recently, and I've had this a lot, people who go and apply for a business loan, they don't even meet the requirements, they don't even read, they don't even go through the email that I sent them, or they don't listen to what I had to say to them, and they go do something anyways thinking that they're going to get approved. I don't know why that is, but you're wasting the time of an underwriter, a lender, and you're wasting my time. And it's wasting my energy as well as theirs as well. That can be devoted to a profile where somebody actually took the time to understand something. And in these emails that I get for you, it is very in-depth. So if you're not reading through it, if you're that person who's defaulted, you've caused some fraudulent activity, you've tried to alter bank statements, because I've had a lot of that. I've had it recently too. And I've had people who don't respond back when I say, hey, they ask me, what's the status of my application? And I go, yeah, unfortunately, you've been declined. In a very nice way. Unfortunately, you've been declined due to fraudulent activity, financial fraudulent activity, altered bank statements, and or you've had another issue, and there are more of them, and they don't say nothing back. Like, they know they're guilty. So why waste my energy and time to begin with? If that's the case that you have, or I never want you to get into that situation, you will never get funding in the industry you've gone to apply to in a lot of cases. And just a lot of the times you won't get funding anywhere else. You're part of the data merge, meaning this is a system that lenders look at to validate your funding options for the future. If you can even get funding, your probability of that. And if it's very low, it's very minimal, you won't get anything. You have insufficient funds, too many negative days. The way you end your bank balance, the way you start your bank balance, the amount of deposits, it's not enough. And when it is, it's just too high of one, and it's not going to help you. I've had people who have lower monthly bank statements saying that they do a certain amount, and then when they go and apply, it's like they're lying straight to my face. They put on the questionnaire that I have for you, again, it'll be down below. You put on the questionnaire, I'm doing 20,000, and then you go, once you get my email and then you go start the application, I see now it's 5,000. How's that? Like, see, it's not me being negative. It's just me trying to get to understand you better and why this is happening. So just to kind of recap, and I'll give this a moment again for the third time, I know that. And this is streaming live. I know some people are busy, and I'm doing this unannounced. Excuse me. So when it is announced, more people show up. So it's okay if there's not many or none comments. It's okay. So just understand that without collateral, there comes those personal guarantees. There will come those personal credit score checks, perhaps a business credit score check, credit worthiness. If you cannot apply and get approved for an SBA EIDL loan, a PPP loan, you can't get any type of SBA loan, it is not the end of the world. Don't just understand the product. Stop listening to what people are telling you. Oh, the SBA, I got an EIDL loan. And then you jump on it, but you just didn't understand how that works. See, this is where we become a little impatient about things, and we just rush to it. So we have to take the time to sit back and really think about what can we qualify for. And if we do qualify for an EIDL loan, like I have many people right now who are not applying for an SBA loan because I showed them an alternative way that actually benefits them more. I have certain individuals who are trying to purchase an existing business, and they thought the SBA 7A would be the best route to go to. Oh, well, no, it isn't. Oh, there's this option. Oh, you need funding fast. You don't want to wait 1 to 3+ months. Usually it's 3+ months, and I've seen it a lot with purchasing existing businesses. It's crazy. Sometimes it's like 6+ months. Lunatic. But They're like, well, I want my business as soon as possible. What can I do? And I present to them those solutions. Sure, it may be a little bit more of a medium to high interest or a total payback or a factor rate. But the bottom line is, do you have sufficient cash flow? Two, will you be in a situation that will not affect your existing business, the ROI of your business or businesses? This is stuff that you have to understand. And I think that StreamYard has stopped responding. Okay, sorry about that. I think the screen went black for a second. I don't know if you guys can see me. There's something happening with. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, so I was getting not responding on my Google Chrome browser, but I'm back. And so just understand that no collateral, but what's the best route to take? I have people now who are trying to purchase businesses through the SBA, as I just said, that don't need it through the SBA. They could get funding here within 24 hours, 350, 250,000, boom, done into your account. Go buy that business you want. No, nothing to worry about. People earlier purchasing an existing business underneath 55,000, 50,000, a lump sum won't work. You want a line of credit? You'll get approved for that. Go take it. Oh no, a personal loan works. Oh, okay. Revenue-based loans, merchant cash advances. But it's that ideology of being stuck at one. And it's also another thing, guys, when I respond back to those questionnaire forms, take the time to find it. Like in the mornings, like what I do in my part of my routine, I'll look through emails. I don't dig my head into emails or responding back to people as the first thing I do in the morning, but I will go in there, in through my inbox. I'll go through every folder, usually inbox, sometimes promotions and social. I can see it from the top without clicking. And then I'll go into my spam box to see who's left me something, because people do end up landing there. And it's by no fault yours. It's just the nature of it. There's just some stuff that happens. I don't want to talk about the tech stuff on the background or the coding stuff, but the DNS settings and all that, SFP and stuff, STP. But take the time. I'm sure if I've responded back to your questionnaire, it is sitting in your spam box. I'm almost positive. And I've had to change some settings around so I can make it where it's not landing in there. And I apologize if it does happen, but it's just the nature of it. So if I haven't responded back to your questionnaire, I will get back to you as soon as possible. Just know that I haven't really done many today. I've been doing some video stuff. I've been doing blogging. I've been getting contacting some people on LinkedIn, which I've had to do, doing some stuff on Facebook. And I'm going to try to do it after this is over. If not, I'll probably jump on TikTok for a bit if you guys want to meet me there and we can talk. And then I'll get to filling out those questionnaires and they'll be in your inbox as soon as possible. But do your due diligence. If you're that individual who gets my emails and is like, where do I go? What do I do? How can you help me? But you haven't read the content. You haven't even clicked through to go see the blog post or the video or the social media post. You're doing yourself a huge disservice, and a huge disservice to somebody else's energy and their time, because everything is in there. If it's a situation where it needs to be a phone call, and if it warrants that, and if it makes sense, then yes, we can do that. But not everybody can spend every single second on the call with every single person. I'm a person of my own with my own business, so I have to make sure I'm using my energy and my time as effective. So people who've been trying to get a hold of me via phone call, there's a time and a place. I can't just get the phone in the morning, the very first thing, and call you guys. I have things I got to do. And then it doesn't make sense to get on the phone call, because it's not always about, if you don't qualify, I can't get on the phone call. That's not the truth. There's mentoring, and I can only do so much right now. But if you don't qualify for something and you know you don't, you got that email, what more is there to explain? If you were to explain a little bit more, put it in that email. That's why I tell you, if you want to respond back to that email, please go ahead and do so. And in the meantime, I will get some information, and if need be, I'll get on the phone call with you. But a lot of times phone calls are wasted. And I don't want to make a phone call about just the numbers. Of course not. I want to make it about the human factor and getting to know you. That's what it's all about. But when these phone calls go in a direction that it shouldn't be going, it takes away from even 5 minutes. Like I give people sometimes up to 30 minutes, sometimes up to 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. And when I say I mean that, I mean it, because I have things I got to do. If I'm off just by 10 minutes on my schedule, yeah, that throws everything off completely. And you may think, oh, this guy's just being something else. He's being very strict or I have standards. This isn't a call center. right? You don't have somebody like, I don't have 10 people picking up phone calls. So it's not to be hard on anybody, but that's just kind of what I want to lead into. And that will conclude everything in this video for me on how to get a business loan with bad credit, how to get it even with good credit. I didn't get into it so specifically. There are underwriting guidelines to all of this that you have to understand, not only as myself as the broker, but yourself as the individual who's getting business funding. And it makes it harder when you don't listen to that. And it makes it harder when you're not even reading. When it's there, it's there. So the ball is in your court. And sometimes when we get on the type of phone calls I love to get, I'm going to be honest with you, are the ones where people took the time to read that email. They go, yeah, Michael, I read the email. And it's just a question about, hey, yeah, I just wanted to ask you about something like this. And yeah, just to clarify, okay, it's okay. It was in the email, but that's fine. And then it's like, yeah, I'm going to go start my application. Boom, it's like that. Because what you guys are getting, everything is in there. It's just you're not taking the time to look at it. And like I said, again, it's in the best interest that you do. And if you hadn't looked at that email and and it's been days, and then I get on the call and I ask, have you looked through that email? Well, no, I haven't. Did you look in your spam box? I'm sure it's there. I sent a text message to you. Perhaps you got it, but you didn't look at it. So these are just some of the things, the commonalities, the common denominator that I see. And I know how it is. It's not all about technology. It's not all about being, well, I don't know how to navigate technology. It's not hard to navigate an email, is it? So if you can navigate an email, and it takes a little bit, you might have to understand where the spam box is, and that's okay. I'm not bashing anybody on that. What I'm saying is I'm very punctual on my time. So like I just said, 5 to 10 minutes of my time is what you're getting. That's what we're concluding. Now I got to get on. It might not even be a phone call with someone else, because that's what happens. Well, now I got to go publish this post. I got to go do this now. I got to go check in with this. 5 to 10 minutes, 9 minutes in, I'm going to let you know, hey, just to kind of conclude this conversation of ours, I just want to let you know that and this is how I go about it. And because this is live, I know some of you guys are like, why didn't you just send the video earlier? As I said earlier, it's alive. And so I guess that's kind of what I want to leave it at. And always be truthful. Here's just some pro tips. I know I keep saying that I was going to end the video, and I should, but this is going to serve you value and purpose. Is be truthful. As I'm truthful with you, be truthful with me. I had conversations with individuals last week. I literally took time out of my I was about to shower. I literally was like getting in the shower, almost getting in the shower. I'm not saying clothes was off or anything like that, but I'm like, I'll give them a call right now and see what's going on. And then another individual called not too long after because I left them a voicemail. And I said, I'm going to answer the phone call. I took time out of my family time to spend with this individual. But guess what? They're not being as truthful when I ask them questions, and they're not even upfront with me saying, hey, I've had a default in the past. What can I do? At least that. Yeah, they won't tell you I've altered bank statements. I have financial fraud. I've had so many of those people come through. And then my underwriters are like, what's happening? Well, I've asked the questions and they probably didn't get it, or just they tried to see if they can go get approved for a loan, and it didn't work. So what I ask from you is just to be truthful. And then out of all of that, just be punctual. Like understand how you're leveraging your own energy and time, because don't try to put it on somebody else. Because you feel like you have free time, that person should be picking up the phone, should be texting you right away, should be emailing you. This is not how this works. And if you want to work with a call center who can harass you and hassle you and tell you, hey, this is the best business loan to go and take, which it can be, but I'm not saying it is all the time. In most cases, it isn't. I've seen a lot of people go into the wrong service. It's terrible. And so if that's what you want, if you want somebody who's more old school, who's going to be calling you, hey, let's set up an appointment next Thursday, which is good. There's cases for that, but it doesn't always need that because they don't have a system in place like I do. And they don't care for you the way that I do. And so if those emails, again, the questionnaire will be down below in the description for you guys to go ahead and fill out. When it's there, take the time to read it and then fill it out very thoroughly. Any additional notes, you leave me that in the bottom of that page, and then it will land in my email inbox. Again, I'm not being hard on anybody. If I come at it like, it's okay to get a business loan, just focus on getting one and making sure you do this. And What does that tell you? One, it'll tell you you'll take advantage of somebody, and then two, it just tells you, yeah, I can go I can go to apply and I can get it approved. I'm gonna just go start my application. So I'm not raising my voice in a way that is negative or being hard on you. So it's just, if you don't hear it this way, it's like with parents, like if they didn't condition you and they didn't tell you or they didn't show you the way it needed to be done, then you're just going to go the opposite direction all the time. So that's kind of what I'm trying to convey with you when some of my tonality comes up. And as an introvert, that I'm telling you that that's not easy for me to do, but I'm here doing it because somebody else won't. Again, the whole example of you going to a call center, going to online marketplaces. Like I've had people who just literally looked over the application. Like I sent you guys the email. It has everything. It has the description, it has the qualifications, how it works, the numbers, if so, comparisons, other types of programs, lenders, etc., the application, review videos, bonus tips, bonus material, the conclusion, stuff that I recommend you would do, bonuses on top of bonuses, but it's all in there. And if people tell me they read the email and they're asking me a question about something, it shows me that they really didn't look at the email. Come on. Just take the time to look at the email. It's all in there. And I've had people, if you're one of these who is contacting me a lot, I've had people today that I just looked through who sent me a lot of emails that just reappeared. I have people asking me, how can I start doing this? But they haven't even gone through the content. Like if you were to just take some time to do that, that's all I'm asking for. Like, I don't want to be the person who says, did you even watch the video? I mean, I know I'm a busy business owner too. I have multiple businesses and I wear multiple hats. So I'm taking more than enough time that I need to, but I want to really help you guys. It's not in a bad sense. But like right now, look, I have people, like I have literally somebody who started a funding application who did not read the application, obviously. Like this isn't like me getting mad at the individual and I won't do that. But they can't qualify for this, so they're going to be pushed in another direction. One of our Bank Breezy products. And here we were asking for at least a minimum of 15,000. Sometimes it's 20, but most of the time it's 15. But their stated lowest month was not that, as was stated in the application, as perhaps I had stated to them. And so this is a problem. Yeah, that is actually a major problem now, because what these individuals tell me what they're doing versus what they actually go put in an application is completely different. And that also raises a lot of red flags, because most of the time the people who do this, it's a fraudulent thing. I'm not saying they are or you are, but the reason that happens a lot of the time is because of that. And I've seen bank statements, literally bank statements here. I see the starting balance, the deposits, the ending bank balance is usually what I have to see, the types of transactions, the amount of deposits, types of deposits. And I go, wait a minute, the ending bank balance is this, and then you have these amount of deposits and your starting balance was there. And then I looked at the last month's too, and I'm like, what happens here? There's something been altered in these bank statements. And I hate seeing that because it wastes my energy and my time. Sure, it gives me repetition. Go ahead, if you want to do that, send it to me so I can get more repetition. Sure. But don't waste your, that's wasting energy and time. So that will conclude everything from me in this video. I appreciate each and every one of you who could tune in. I know not everybody can, because this was unannounced and the time, and because we're busy, right? You see other people on the YouTube channel who try to show you how to get a business loan. What are they telling you? They're not getting into specifics. This video wasn't as specific, but I have other ones that do, where they go into underwriting guidelines. They just go like this and they try to be hard on you, or they try to come off in a very monotone way or in a very easy way, but you got to look past that. You got to understand the person. You got to understand what knowledge they can bring. Look, today, I would show you if I could, but it's confidential. I could show you all the people who've applied for all types of products. SBAs, who's currently in the idle loan process, increases, which if you want to learn more about, down below. Unsecured, secure term loans, real estate funding, merchant cash advances, merchant cash advance hybrids, short, medium, longer terms, whatever the use of funds, I've seen it all of all types of industries. And so there's not one thing I haven't seen. Oh, you have assets? Do you want to do a secured type of term loan solution where we can lower the interest? Oh, you have it, but you don't want to do that? Perhaps you would want to take little installments. Okay, that works. Sure, it'll be a little bit more of a medium to higher interest, but Your cash flow is fine. We can deal with that. And actually, that's what I would prefer you do, so you can hold on to those assets, because you don't know how you're going to recover. Those assets may have that type of real estate may have assets inside of that. There may be some kind of machinery, something that you can give away, but you're going to have to add everything in there. So you got to be careful about what you do and who you listen to. Just because you hear of an owner of a company, and you guys can learn more about me at viralfundingsolutions.com. If you guys would like to learn more, some of you guys may have been turned off when you're watching this later. You're like, this guy's full of it. He's just raising his voice. He's telling me something, but in a hard way, in a negative way. That's not what's coming off. If that's what's coming off here, I'm sorry you feel that way, but it isn't. It's not like that. And those of you who have been following me for some time know my personality. I know how I really am. And so this isn't me being negative or complaining at all. This is me bringing you the truth. And a lot of people who say that I'm complaining in that, they don't like to hear the truth. You're not in a position. If you're not in the position, you're always going to be complaining and crying about something. But if you just fix the symptoms, that will continue to happen. I can tell you the amount of people who keep contacting me and they start one application and they go to another lender, they go to this brokerage, and they try to do this, they have fraudulent activity, they come back, they're like, I'm ready. No, you're not. You just altered your bank statements. And then some people completely miss the fact that the credit score requirement was this, but they still went to go apply for like these loans. What are you doing? You're fixing the symptom. No matter how hard you need the money, how fast you need it, it will not fix the symptom. You got to go fix the diagnosis. Oh, I have bad business credit. What do you think I got to do? Oh, I have a bad Fico credit score. I had an individual on a live not too long ago telling me how he had to learn the freaking hard way. And if you guys were listening there, and you guys aren't doing anything about your own situation, it can be very difficult, obsolete. Your financials just stay where they are. They can get worse, deteriorate. And now you're wondering why you don't have a business, when you could have gone that business loan, but you just didn't work on your credit worthiness. You didn't take time to understand how to build business credit. You didn't understand how to fix your credit, how somebody can help you, where we could have gone from a 580 or 610 to about a 675. Instead of 9-month terms, now you're getting 11 months. Those 2 extra months make a big difference. But even if you got 9 months and you don't get the most amount that you want in one take the minimal amount. Take what you can get. And that's how businesses move forward. They take what they can get now. Prime example. I've had people who get approved for $1 million plus, just underneath $1 million, 500 and above, 100,000 and above, 100,000 and less. And guess what they do? Because I showed them what to do. They don't have to take out the most. I've had people who get approved for 700, 800,000, but they don't want to supply about a year's worth of tax returns if it isn't the SBA. If it is the SBA, it's different. They don't want to have to supply the year-to-date financials, profit and loss, and balance sheet. I know all this stuff because I deal with it in my own businesses. So what do you think they do? They get the minimum without having to supply that information. So perhaps they take 100 or 150,000 without adding extra supplemental information. They need the funds now. They say, I've spoken to some recent people. No, Michael, I don't want to take the full 600,000 if I have to supply that information because it'll take about another week or about another week and a half to get my funds. And I really need to use at least what I can right now because I'm hitting a hard season and this is going to be my breakout one like it is every year. So let me take what I can get. Let me take the 150,000. I'm okay with the repayment on that. Let me pay whatever that is, 7,000, 5,000, 8, 13, whatever it is. It's okay. I can deal with that. The weekly, I get a weekly repayment, not a monthly repayment. That's okay. Monthly repayments aren't everything, and that's what they tell me. And I go exactly what I've been telling people this whole time is like they don't need a monthly repayment. The monthly repayment is usually a factor, when the purpose of funds makes sense and when those purpose of funds usually mean that the ROI will become something that happens in the future. Not right now, maybe not in 12 months, not even in 24 months, or it's survival money. And so those are kind of like the primary ways of looking at it. And let me see, I've had people who I'm very sincere and honest with, but they're not honest with me. And there are many who are very honest with me and they'll tell me what's happening. But if I don't never hear it, like I've had people that I respond back to and I go, hey, you didn't get approved because of this. You had a default. and they just like you know the Homer picture going back into the grass or the yard. They don't even respond back, and it's just a simple, okay, I understand, I'm sorry for that. I know that's hard to do, and it would be hard for me to do too. But just some of that understanding goes a long ways. And the relationship that I have with most people, there's a reason why I make it happen, why I help people get what they need. Not because it's on a business level, it's more on a personal level. If I've made that kind of impact with yourself, I'm grateful for it, and I harness it in and I bring it in and I welcome it and I put you in my heart. And you go a long ways with me. I get phone calls from people. Can I get some advice on this? Sure. I'll get you within 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and talk. Hi, Harry. How's it going? How's this? Boom. And I have people who I still have to get a hold of soon. So it's just all about understanding what it is you're looking for on a deeper level, because you don't know everything that I know. And I don't expect you to. That's why I'm coming out with a course, which, by the way, just last night, I'm working hard for you guys. Last night, I just put the structure of the course, and there's some more modules I'm putting together, and then the lessons will be within those modules. But if you guys don't get it after this is all put together, and they might not be done within the half of this year, maybe towards the end or beginning of next year, so forth, who knows? Because I have projects. But if you're watching these videos in this course, and after you're done watching those, it just still doesn't click. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. It's just, you just haven't taken the time to actually listen. Like my brother, like he's 23, he's a Gemini, and he just doesn't listen. He wants to hear what he wants to hear, and he'll say what he wants to say. Like the other day, he was doing that. He wasn't listening. He was listening, but he wasn't actively listening. He was listening, but he was trying to make his point. And so that's what we got to get away from. You got to stop doing that. And once you start opening up and becoming more patient, learning gratitude, learning how to develop yourself internally before you start working on the things in your business, what you do in the mornings matter. How you wake up, how you drink a glass of water, heck, how you go to the bathroom to pee, one or two, how you brush your teeth, how you look at yourself before you exit the door, before you get started at home when you're working. It's a reflection of what I see from business owners when they put these applications in, when they don't take their time to do it, when they don't go through the material that's given there, and they expect a phone call. It's not all about a phone call. If I were to get, I'll tell you right now, if I were to get on a phone call with just about every person who submits a questionnaire and they get an email response back, I would have never gotten anything else done. And sometimes these phone calls, it's like, did you at least look at the information so we can get on the call? By the time we get on the call, you know what you're getting. Just it's about clarity and probably a few more questions you have to ask. I welcome that either way, but there will be times where I do give you guys a phone call. I've had people who submit applications who have gone ghost. I have no idea what's happening. Where have they gone? Like, I just want to get feedback. I'm not saying go apply. I'm just saying I want feedback. And then they come back to me later like, I thought I started my application. Well, I tried reaching out to you, ma'am, or I tried reaching out to you, sir, and what happened? I got your email, but I got busy. No, that's an excuse. I got busy is an excuse. See, I make time. No matter how busy I am with family and friends, I make time. So will you do it? That's the question. So ponder that thought, and I will leave you with that. And I'm grateful for you guys being here. I know we went way past how to get a business loan, but hopefully you got a lot of value out of this. And if you feel like you did, please give it a thumbs up when it is later uploaded. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I will be coming out with. And if you know somebody else, a friend, a family member, or somebody you don't know, a complete stranger, pass it forward. They may need help, but they don't know because the average Joe is not explaining it to them the way it should be. So, questionnaire in the description as well as all other resources. Thank you all.